This is the first Frontier opening bell in the new year 2023. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the trading day. It's Wednesday, the 4th of January. I am posting Namafai, and it's good to have everyone back on the block in the new year. Hope you had a very great Christmas year ending as well as the new year festivities. But let's hit the ground running because the Nigerian stock market hit the ground running yesterday. 0.67%. Big gains in Boa Foods, some of the biggest banking names such as FBN Holdings, Jitco, Access Core, and UBA. That drove the all-share index stronger 51,000 level. The Nigeria's total equity capitalization hit 28 trillion naira on the first trading day in the new year as the Nigerian exchange rejigged its 13 baskets of indices, throwing out some of the companies across the various indices and bringing the new ones. So the market was really active across the board. The money market was active. The fixed income market was bullish yesterday with yields declining across NTB's open market operations and Naira bond papers. The Naira also gained about 0.1% on Tuesday to start the new year on a positive reading against the US dollar. If you look at the BRVM, it was the opposite. The second largest exchange in West Africa, 1.44%. The BRVM was down to 203.99. The BRVM also yesterday announced the rejigging of its own basket of indices. Now, the BRVM 10 index has been dumped to be replaced by a BRVM 30, which will mirror the biggest 30 companies listed on the Francophone West African exchange headquartered in Abidjan. That's the news. Then they got about two new categories of indices, the BRVM Prestige and BRVM Growth. These three new indices you need to watch if you track the French-speaking West African markets. That's the BRVM on the first trading day of the new year. The Egyptian market up by 0.27%. In Cairo, 15,000 level was where the EGX30 was holding it. 127.34, the Kenyan market down by 20 basis points, while the JSE close to 74,000 on Tuesday, the first trading day of the new year, a strong roughly 2% on the back of gains that we saw across the European markets on Tuesday, the first full year opening day for every market around the world. The European markets finished strongly. The correlation between the GSS and the emerging market with Europe is also very strong there. Travel stocks and leisure indices were strong, closing across the 5 major markets across Europe that we track here from Africa Reports. But that's how the market cutting razor for the new year. What's making the headlines? Kenya reporting that is making substantial gain by exporters in exchange rate of the shillings, billions of shillings, because the new Central Bank of Kenya's policy to keep the shillings a little bit low to allow exporters to make gains is beginning to show up. That's the reports coming through for the third quarter. In the meantime, TransCentury Group's rights issue has reopened and is now trading on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And Wakandi Payment Service has gotten a full licensing by the Central Bank of Kenya. We say congratulations and join the financial marketplace in East Africa's biggest economy. And for 2022, Kenya posted the fastest growth, average inflation of about 5% in a 5-year period. That was above the KCB, that's the Kenya Central Bank's target range of 2.5% to 7.5%. In the meantime, Tanzania is taking on Kenya with about $271 billion SGR link to DR Congo. The whole link between East Africa and Central Africa with the DR Congo as the biggest economy is apace since DRC joined the East African community sometime in 2022. Let's take it out. Bring up the West African Nigerian market. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari signed his final budget for his 8-year tenure yesterday morning. That figure came about 21.85 trillion naira. That was approved. However, there's still a whole lot of sticky points when it comes to the trillions of naira in waste and means that the president is asking the Senate or the National Assembly to approve in terms of a securitization which we worked out between the central bank and the Ministry of Finance. There's also the finance bill that's yet to be fully approved, fully considered by the Assembly, but yet to be fully agreed upon. So there's still some sticky points. So the budget for 2022 has been extended for another 3 months to the end of March this year by the government. So that will run concurrently with the New Year budget until the end of March. Then the New Year budget will take on until June when the new administration comes in. Whether there's going to be a tinkering with that by June, we all wait to see. In the meantime, the Debt Management Office yesterday started selling Nigeria's savings bond, monthly savings bonds, two papers, 9.60% for one of the papers, and the other at about 10.60%, some of the highest yield or coupon that was seen on the savings bond since 2022. And reported that German companies are looking to invest a whole lot more on the African continent in the new year 2023 as Germany begins to warm up its own way to the African continent, just like the British, as well as France, Russia, China, United States, and everyone else is looking to that closer relationship with sub-Saharan Africa. And the BRVM Orange stocks, which is listed on the stock exchange, has pushed aside the former competitor as far as market capitalization is concerned. 20.35% was the market optic for its capitalization for last year. But Orange, which is a telco, had to deal with a number of issues as far as the stocks concerned listed on the BRVM. And Bloomfield has raised a long-term rating of Sudechi, which is listed on the BRVM from AA- to AA, and the outlook has to be stable. Okay, let's touch on with South Africa. Good news, of course, from today, because South Africans will be buying petrol and diesel at a lower price. That's the news this morning. South Africans waking up to the new year with a bit of a slight reduction in petrol and diesel prices on the back of a bit of a tapering in crude oil prices that we saw towards the end of last year. But those prices will now be enjoyed starting from today, the 4th of January. And that's news for South Africans, by the way. The whole energy crisis in South Africa remains to be resolved, however, with Eskom having one of its worst outages in many years in South Africa. Go look at the Zimbabwe market, where quite a bit of economic news are coming through. Post and telecommunications have some issues to resolve within the country, affecting its operations as well. News also in this morning that President Suluhu of Tanzania is allowing opposition political parties to campaign in the country. Quite a whole lot being resolved. Let's take a final look at East North Africa, where it all started. Tunisia is reporting, the Tunisia Stock Exchange reporting a very robust growth of about 15.13% on the Tunis index for the full year 2022. That was much bigger than about 5.4%, which was reported for the full year 2021. And there's a whole lot to report for the North African markets and economies, investments, and businesses. You can find all of this in our Frontier Opening Bell on a daily basis. This is our curtain raiser. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. And of course, we'll see you again tomorrow, Thursday, the 5th of January. I am Bourses. Bye for now.